Look, if you're seriously trying to grow your cleaning business in the US without using ads, marketing agencies, or even Angie's List, then pay attention to this video so you never have to do that ever again. All right, with that being said, let's get into the video. So you're probably thinking, how can you get commercial cleaning contracts as fast as possible? Now, surprise, surprise, it's not driving around your city, going to each building, going to network events, or waiting around crossing your fingers that you're going to get a referral. Now, don't get me wrong, all these work extremely well, right? It's just a lot more manual and a lot more time wasting, okay? The first method that I'm actually going to walk through is SMS and texting. Now, first of all, with SMS, what you have to do is actually build out your lead list. So this is using tools, i.e. Apollo, Seamless AI, LeaderOps, and LinkedIn. Now, you've probably heard of some of these before, and they are extremely good. Now, alongside of this, you can actually verify your leads through clearoutphone.io. You have to do this every single time. It is literally a requirement. So make sure you get it done. Actually verify the list that you send SMS messages to. Otherwise, you're going to be sending to a bunch of numbers that's not even valid. Okay. Now, actually moving on from that, you can actually manually use a tool to scrape through Google Maps to actually ensure higher quality leads that you're actually reaching out to. So what this actually means is when you actually use tools, you don't necessarily get the most up-to-date data, right? So you're sending messages to people that may not even be in the business anymore. So doing it manually will stop that. However, it will take miles longer to actually do. And obviously alongside of that, you won't really get results any quicker at all whatsoever. But yeah, if you do want to do that as well, it is harder to get the first and last name, but it is definitely possible. Okay. So just giving you the two options. Now, I'll show you a little example of manually scraping it and obviously using a lead list, like the sort of data that you will get. So first of all, going on to the actual tools. So as you can see here, we get the full name, we get the industry, we get the job title, emails, phone number, company name. Like we get the location, absolutely everything you really need. Skills, and obviously, again, first name, last name, LinkedIn URL, Facebook URL. Absolutely everything you actually need. Obviously, this list isn't cleaned up whatsoever, but this is just an example of like what would happen if you actually use one of these tools to obviously scrape the list for you. Okay. Now you get a bunch. Obviously, this is a very small list, but I'm just doing it as an example. Okay. Moving on from that is Google Map leads. Okay. So what this does actually include is the company name, emails, website, address, number. Now, this is all good, but you don't necessarily have the first name and last name. Now, obviously you can, but it takes so damn long to try and get this, right? It's actually ridiculous. I used to do it for myself and it's generally not worth it in my opinion anymore. But obviously if you're actually limited on money, actually go to Google Maps, type in something like natural medicine clinic or tax and accounting, whatever you really want to target, and start going one by one, filling out all the details on a spreadsheet similar to this, okay? Now, like I mentioned, it's just a couple that I'm showing here as an example. At this point, after you actually have a lead list, go to Clear Out Phone and make sure you get it done and get it cleared out. Otherwise, any software that you're actually using is going to stop you from actually sending it anymore if you don't actually use something like this. Okay. Now, moving on. Like I mentioned, you have to get a good SMS sending software. So this can be Go High Level, for example. That's what we personally use. And alongside of that as well, you do have to get the number ATP verified. So what that means is if you don't get your number ATP verified, you simply can't send any SMS messages. Obviously, on the flip side of this, you can actually use a toll-free number, but it doesn't actually look as trustworthy. So I wouldn't go with it. Just get a local number and get it ATP verified. Okay. Now, in terms of the messaging. So what you can do is pay first name. This is your name. I was driving past company name last week and thought you may need help cleaning your building. I'm willing to give you offer. Can I call you tomorrow? Now, obviously, as you can see, it's very, very simple. You only have to change the things that I put into bold. So offer, your name, company name. Now, that should be you sorted after that. Obviously, we have tons of other scripts that we use. A couple that obviously work a lot better than this, but I'm just using an example. Okay. So obviously after this first message, you have follow-up 1. So it's just seeing if my previous message went through. And then follow-up 2 is there anyone else to discuss this with? Very, very simple. This will get responses. So use that. Okay. Something to actually be mindful of is your call to action. So this actually needs to be direct, not open to chat, open to a quick chat, all that sort of stuff. We've tested it out before. It simply doesn't work. So do something direct. Can I call you tomorrow? That works extremely well. So whatever message you're actually using, this is the golden thing that you need to do. Obviously, there's examples right here. So let me scroll in really quickly. So you can see, yes, give me a call when you're free. And then there's similar sort of copy is slightly different, but sure, right? After you actually jump on that call with them, it's very, very important you only focus on getting a walkthrough. Literally nothing else. Obviously, you can give them a bit of information, all that sort of stuff, sure. But you do have to focus primarily on getting a walkthrough, as if you don't, simply, you won't get the walkthrough, right? I've seen this happen so many times with our clients. Of course, number 4 is literally just publish it and find out for yourself how it all works, right? It works extremely well. So get this sorted, spend a bit of time on this, as it will get you a lot of results. Now, moving on is actually LinkedIn. And surprisingly, a lot of people don't do this or they do it incorrectly. So if you're one of those people, pay attention as it works extremely, extremely well. Okay. So first of all, you can obviously do this manually, what I'm about to go through, or you can actually use a tool to obviously automate the whole process. Okay. So the tool we use is actually LinkedIn Helper. So check it out if you want to get this automated. Now, essentially how it works is, first of all, you do have to optimize your LinkedIn profile. And what that means is actually having a good bio, have a clear photo of yourself, add a website, and obviously aim to get 500 plus connections. Obviously, what you can do to actually get this is go to open network groups, just type it up in the LinkedIn search bar. And then what you'll be able to do is once you join a couple, I would advise that it should just join 5, something like that. And then what you can do is send a connection request to all the people that's actually recently joined. So the reason it actually works very well is because people in these groups will connect with literally anyone. They're on these groups specifically for that. Okay, so we're going to use that for our advantage to obviously grow your LinkedIn account. Now, alongside of this as well, the reason we actually connect to the recent people that's actually joined is because they're most likely to actually connect back to you. Because obviously, as you can imagine, some people who's joined 10 years ago, 5 years ago, and they're not really going to be likely to connect back to you. Anyway, when you get all of this done, move on to the next step. So the next step is actually prospecting. So this is actually connecting to your ideal market, which is max 100 people per week. Don't ever do more than 100 connections a week. Otherwise, you'll actually risk your account from actually getting flagged. It's not the biggest deal in the world. If you go over once in a while, not a big deal, because what will actually happen, they'll just ask you to verify your account again. And once you do it, 1-2 days, you'll get your account back. Okay. But the problem is if you keep doing it, you'll actually get your account permanently suspended. So please note, do not do more than 100 a week. Okay. If you need to keep a tally, you can. Or if you're using a tool like LinkedIn Helper, you don't have to worry about it at all, okay? Because it sorts it all out for you. And it actually makes sure that you don't go above the 100 connection limit, okay? Now, when you actually connect to these people, don't have a connection message. And this is actually very, very important. So what that is if I go into here, let's search property manager, for example, okay? This will be an example that you'll probably be connected to. Now, as you see here, property manager, if I click connect, there's send without a note and there's add a note. Always send without a note, okay? If you send with a note, every single time your connection rate is going to be worse. I've tested this so many times for all my clients, and every single time when we send without a note, it's really weird, you get higher connection rates, okay? So make sure you get it done like this, okay? All right, so next up is actually the prospecting part. So what you have to do is go to the LinkedIn search bar, type in your target market. So this is property manager, facility manager, whatever it is. Literally, I have a bunch of keywords over here. Okay. Now, alongside of it is you click on people, filter by second connections, add a location, and obviously connect to these people like I just mentioned. Obviously get LinkedIn Helper to do it automatically. So to obviously show you is type up property manager or whatever it is, like I've done here. Go to people, second connections, okay, and do location. So specifically your location there you actually want to target. So if you're Texas, Florida, whatever it is, obviously you can do it down to the specific place you want it. So Houston, for example, then click show results. Now, for me, I have 587 results. As you can imagine, every single time you actually connect to all these people for your specific keywords, you're obviously going to get a lot more of those people. So don't be afraid of running out of leads, for example. Let's just go through it all. Like I mentioned, 100 a week, no exceptions, okay? But yeah, simply doing this and connecting to everyone, that's literally all you have to do. It's pretty simple. And obviously, like I mentioned, if you want to pause this video right now, note down these keywords if you really want to. These are really, really good keywords that we've actually used. Obviously, you may not use some of these if you're specifically for pressure washing or something like that. So just note down what ones are actually relevant for yourself. And obviously, at the end of the day, do a little test, okay? Find out what ones get you the best results, the most responses, etc. Lastly is obviously the messaging. Okay, so it's hey first name, this is your name. I just wanted to see if you needed any help cleaning company name. And then I'm willing to give you offer, open to a quick chat. Now, as you notice, this call to action is actually a little different. It's not can I call you tomorrow, because that doesn't work on LinkedIn. But obviously having open to a quick chat gets so many more people interested. Now, alongside of this, follow up 1, just wanted to make sure that my last message went through, or follow up 2, can I call you tomorrow? Okay. I wouldn't do more follow-ups past this point because you start pestering them, they start getting a little bit annoyed. Okay. They see your messages, but they just don't want to respond to you. Okay. Now, typically between these follow-ups, it's around 2 days. Same for SMS as well. Right. And then obviously, as you see here, this is actually through LinkedIn, but it does feed into our CRM. Okay. So obviously, as you can see, it's pretty much exactly the same. Obviously, I don't believe they had the build-in. So they just put your build-in. That's what you can do if you don't have their company name, for example. It's very easy. And obviously they still respond. And this is their response, okay? Now, obviously when you target the right people, have the correct systems in place, it actually becomes really easy to book walkthroughs. And obviously that will help you stop relying on all these outdated methods. Now, like I mentioned, you can do them side by side as they obviously still work, but having this will make your life 20 times easier. So these are the 2 main systems if I was you to actually focus on. So remember, SMS and LinkedIn is your go-to. All right, if you do want this system, along with all of our other systems on obviously our lead list, CRM, etc., on a one-on-one coaching basis to make sure it specifically works for you, then obviously schedule a call below. And yeah, with that being said, I appreciate you clicking on the video and staying to the end. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.